This meeting to order. This regular meeting of the Judson Board of Trustees hereby called to order at 7:17. I am very pleased that you have taken time to join us this evening. As the Judson Board of Trustees, we are here to set goals and policies and oversee the management of the district. We are responsible for approving budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and to listen to reports from the superintendent. We are not here to make administrative or management decisions pertaining to the daily operation of the district. This is the responsibility of the superintendent. In compliance with the state government code on open meetings, tonight's agenda has been appropriately posted. This is a meeting in public, not a meeting of the public. As our guests, you are welcome to observe and listen. These proceedings are being video and audio recorded and will become part of Judson's permanent legal record. In order that the tape adequately reflects these proceedings, please silence your mobile phones and refrain from talking while others are speaking. Since it is legally mandated that these proceedings are recorded accurately, I may have to ask for order periodically should I notice that disruptions are interfering with our recording capabilities. Once again, the board extends to each of you a sincere welcome. Thank you for your interest in the Judson School Board meeting. Since we have established a quorum, I'll go ahead and take roll call. Mr. LaFoyle.
Here. Thank you for coming.
Ms. Adair. Mr. Secretary, Mr. Macias.
Good evening, and I appreciate your patience today.
Mr. Flores.
Good evening, welcome.
Mr. Sellier.
President, thank you for coming.
And I'm Mr. Salinas, your board president. And Dr. Mackey.
Good evening, Mr. President. We have several administrative staff here.
Yes, sir.
Nancy Robinson, Association of Superintendents, Alita Barrett, Assistant Superintendent, Jose Elizondo, Chief Financial Officer, Elaine Howard, Executive Director of Human Resource, and Daniel Kirchner, Executive Director of Operations.
Thank you, sir. We will now do an invocation by Dr. Mackey, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please bow your head. Father, we want to thank you for this day. We want to thank you for this meeting. And please provide safety to and from this meeting for all participants and people in this audience. Lord, we want to thank you for blessing the troop overseas, guiding them safety, and keeping them safe and out of harm's way while they serving our country. Father, we thank you for this board and for these individuals to make decisions for the best interests of this district. We want to thank you for all you've done and all the glory that you have restored. We glorify you and we thank you for everything that you're doing. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I also would like to ask everybody a moment of silence and pray for the family of the Ralph Hoff, who was our employee who recently passed away. Thank you. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We honor
the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Do we have any elected officials? Seeing none, then we do not have anybody that has signed up to speak, so we'll go ahead and continue with the consideration of consent items, which is number 4. Board members, I will read the items. If you want to pull them, make sure and signify by saying pull. Number 8, consider and take action regarding approval of 4 minutes for regular meeting held on June the 20th, 2013. B, consider and take action regarding approval of monthly financial information as of June the 30th, 2013. Okay, item E, consider and take action regarding approval of update to policy BDB, local board internal organization, internal committees. This was the second reading, and that's on page 46. We have a motion by Mr. Sellier, second by Mr. Flores. Discussion. Ms. Hader.
Thank you, Mr. Salinas. I'd like to draw the board's attention to page 47 of the board book. And the changes that are recommended that are in blue and red, which we still have a little bit of confusion about that, but the blue adds the words one alternate board member as a liaison to the following committees when active. The red eliminates the finance committee, eliminates the building and construction committee, combines the curriculum committee with the long range committee, and eliminates the long range planning committee and combines finance and building and construction committee. The blue, I see, the red eliminates the blue adds. The blue adds ad hoc committees may be formed as necessary with the superintendent and or designee present at each meeting. And it also adds committee chairpersons of each committee will be selected by the committee and shall work directly with the board liaison, who will work with the board president for meeting agenda, meeting preparation, and information requests. The board president will review a draft of the committee agenda before official posting as required by law. Those are the ads. For the record, I would just like to state I disagree with combining the finance and building and construction committee together. We have an upcoming bond. We've received our information on the bond committee, and they'll be meeting on Wednesdays at 7:30 at the IHOP. I thought that was great, Dr. Mackey, that's already in place, and the bond oversight committee. I don't know how the bond oversight committee goes along with the bond committee, if they're the same or if they're two different committees. But the building and construction committee has always worked with whatever bond we were doing and providing a hands-on kind of thing with the building that we were building at the time, such as the elementary school or the high school. The finance committee has not been involved in anything to do with building and construction. They've been looking more at the finances of the district, the audit reports, the monthly financials that we receive, and then the long-range planning committee being combined with the curriculum committee. I spoke with several of the citizens on the curriculum committee, and the curriculum committee is for curriculum. The long-range planning is the overall planning of the district. And in the interest of transparency and open government, I do not see or understand why this board would want to do away with committees rather than having committees open to allow the community to volunteer. And if they choose not to volunteer, at least the opportunity is there. But by changing board policy, you're eliminating the committees and you're combining them, and they're supposed to meet for 1 hour. There's no way you can cover anything of any significance in finance and building construction or curriculum and long-range planning. And so, I just want to state prior to the vote, I think this is a bad move on the board's part if we vote to pass to do away with those committees and try to combine them all and then expect anything to be accomplished in the 1 hour that the committees meet. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Mr. Flores?
Thank you. Well, I'm looking at this, and this is our board president's attempt to solidify these committees in a way that I believe he wants to streamline this. And you know, it's policy. There's nothing that says we can't change this if we see it's not working. You know, it's not. You know, that's what we're doing here. And nowhere did I see where it says the meeting's only going to be 1 hour.
Correct.
You know, so but I'm looking at the policy, and I think that I'll support this simply because I think it's Mr. Salinas' attempt to consolidate some things here. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Mr. Macias.
I'm looking like you today, Steve. I did have some initial concerns about the collaboration of combining, I guess, of the committees. But I do think that in the long run, we need to have long-range talking to curriculum. And I think by design, we've attempted to do that. We've not seen a lot of success with our committees. It's a disappointment, but it's obviously something that we're still, on this board, I believe, moving towards. So in the interim, combining these committees may actually help to increase the communication in areas like curriculum and long-range talking together, and then finance and building and construction talking, until we can actually divide these committees once we've built some momentum. And as Gilbert alluded to, this isn't set in stone. We can address the policy if necessary. So I'm prepared to move forward with this.
Mr. Sellier? Oh, I'm sorry. Ms. Ader? No. Well, no,
Mr. Sellier, they want you to talk. That's what they keep calling.
No, that's fine. I'd just like to give everybody a chance, even though your name doesn't show up over here. Go ahead, Ms. Ader.
I would say you're absolutely correct, Gilbert. Our policy does not state 1 hour. And I would disagree with Mr. Macias in that our committees were not successful. Some committees were not successful. The Finance Committee met regularly and consistently and gave Jackie lots of work in preparing agendas. And the Curriculum Committee met frequently. And Ms. Williams isn't here to speak to the Curriculum Committee. But, you know, consolidation of what? I mean, I'm confused. I'd like someone, so I'm not pinpointing anyone, okay, Gilbert, please tell me what, you didn't let me ask the question, what I want you to answer here.
No, go
Oh,
ahead.
yeah, we're here. Tell me how, because you were over, that's good, because you were over long range, right? Tell me how you envision long-range planning working with curriculum.
Well, in long-range planning, we talked about different facilities and such, but we talked about like the CATE program. How can we, you know, get that, make it bigger, like Colleen, I believe, right, Mark, where we talked about them, where they have their own CATE center, that they do things like that. And of course, you have to work curriculum into all that stuff. I think this is an opportunity to, because curriculum does have a good committee that shows up. We have a fairly stable committee of probably about 4 or 5 people, but the same 4 or 5 people, you know. So I think this will give both committees a possibility to collaborate, and that way you just open it up a little bit more. That's why I think this would be a good idea, and I also think that we ought to have that all committee thing like Mr. Salinas had there in March, you know, to see what everybody's doing. Yeah, but I think this as an initial point of being able to collaborate and find out, you know, curriculum, what are they planning in the long run, you know, and we can see and talk about it, you know. Curriculum is not just right now. Curriculum is long range also, you know, so we have to. Well, that's true. Well, it's 2 years anyway, but that's where I'm coming from on this, June.
I will be interested to see if the consolidation of these committees will cause any more participation, or if this is an attempt to lessen the information being given to committee members and citizens to find out what's going on in our district. I'll be watching, because we've had these committees since what, 2006, and if they didn't function, they were authorized. Changing the policy, they're not authorized. You have to call a board meeting, the ad hoc language. Right, and there's specific language on what you got to do that too. So if that's the policy, and I already know it's the will of the majority of the board, I just want to be clear on where I stand, that I think we're reducing transparency and involvement by our citizens. That's my opinion. Thank you.
Mr. LaFoyle, you want to say anything before I say something, sir? Thank you, sir. I don't like when we become negative and say we're doing away with committees, we're doing away with transparency. I think the reason when we got all the committees together and we talked about it, we want, number one, to increase the participation from our citizens. That's number one. And once we get the committees going, and we make reports to the board, I think once if this passes tonight, I will be having a meeting with Dr. Mackey to make sure we're going to advertise for volunteers, the website and the Herald and some of the other some of the other newspapers that we have. Plus, maybe, I know we have representatives that go to all the city council meetings, and they can speak, get on the agenda to speak about we now have these committees and we need people to get involved. And I guarantee you, I will be recruiting people to join the committees. And I hope that if it's not working, I'll be the first one to say, you know what, I'm sorry. The other ones were not working, and obviously this is worse, so maybe we need to change our policy. I'll be the first one to do that, So hopefully we have a new start. And board members, I already told them that we'll appoint a liaison and an alternate. And maybe it's between those two board members, whoever they are, that if they say, okay, you know what, I can't make the meeting, would you make it this month? And then alternate, or both of them go at the same time. But I think it's a new move, and I think we're going to move forward, and hopefully it's going to work. Thank you very much. We have a motion and we have a second. All those in favor signifying by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed likewise. Nay. 1 nay. We have 5 yeses and 1 no. Okay. Thank you. We move on to discussion items and reports. Superintendent report. Number 1, changes to the 2013-2014 Student Handbook and Student Code of Conduct. And these are only changes. Okay? I hope you had a chance to read them, because I guarantee you I did read it from top to bottom. I already had questions from Mr. Gonzalez, and hopefully you will be getting the final copy when everything is placed in there. Okay? Discussion. Oh, I'm sorry. No, there's no discussion. I'm sorry. Dr. Mackey.
Okay, Mr. President, if you could see the student handbook, and you see the policy FN logo that we have placed in front. But if you look at it where you see student parental rights and responsibility throughout the handbook, and if you go to page 6, you can see the changes that have been made in the bullying on page 6.
Page what?
Page 6.
No, it can't be 6.
No, okay.
Page.
6 on the.
Oh,
on the
6 on
the
page
handbook, yes.
56.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
You can see where we've made all the necessary changes and covered all the things in bullying and it will be discussed with all of our principals throughout the entire district. We open it up for any questions at this time. The board would have any questions on this? Mhm.
Mr. LaFoyle,
Page 11,
page 11, sir.
dress and grooming.
Okay.
That
hold
is
on,
all
sir.
that's going to be in there under dress and grooming?
Sir, what page?
I was going to say, why don't we just take that out and put on there, wear what you want? That's just about what you're saying, if that's all that's going to be there.
I don't know, I'm trying to look where you're at, Mr.
11. It's 61.
61?
Page 11. 11 at the top.
It's right there, look at dressing and grooming.
Oh, so what number is in the bottom?
Page 11 was just.
11 on the bottom.
So what was your question, Mr. LaFolle?
Dress and grooming,
Mm-hmm.
is that all that's going to be in there?
No. This is a change, sir.
No.
No, there's no change. We had button-down Oxford-style shirts last year. We had polo shirts last year. We had pants, the slacks, capris, jeans, skirts,
Okay.
shorts, dress and walking shorts.
Okay, what has changed, Mr. LaFolle, is you see that in red? That was part of it last year, it's taken out. Any color, solid or stripes is taken out. For this year, it's polo-style shirts. Remember, the board voted on that.
Yeah, I know we did.
Yeah, y'all voted on that, so we're just putting what y'all voted on.
Yeah, we're just going to wear,
That's what the board voted on. We're
that's
just
no
going with it.
change.
Yeah,
That
it
was
is.
in last year.
I know, but it was in there, but it says any color, solid or stripes, and that's striked out. So it could be any polo-style shirt,
That
regardless.
was striked out last year, supposedly, when Ms. Sutton made the,
I know.
yeah.
Yes.
So, all that's going to be in there this year
Yes,
under tops
yes,
is polo-style shirts and button-down
Yes.
Oxford-style shirts. That's all that's going to be there.
Do we
They
have
can be
any other,
any
Mr.
color they want. They can
Yes.
have anything on them they want.
Yes, we voted on that, yes. You voted on it.
I know we voted on it.
Yes.
But there was more than that in there. This is opening a door
Y'all-
this wide.
Y'all voted on that.
I'm just making my
Oh, okay,
remark.
I thought you said we.
It's opening a door this wide. They're going to come in with purple shorts on. They're going to come in with green tops. They're going to come in with all kinds of different distractive stuff. Clothes. If we leave this the way it is, you're opening a door. They can come in with names down the side of their pants, names on the back of their shirt, whatever they want. That's what. Why don't we just take this out and put on there, dress the way you want? That would be much better. Then we'd know what's coming down. You go down what you want, guys, but I'm dead against this.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I'm reading what it says. Tops, polo-style shirts, button-down Oxford-style shirts, bottoms, pants, slacks, jeans, capris, shirts, shorts is spelled wrong, dresses, and walking shorts. And striked out must be either tan, black, brown, khaki, blue, or gray. So that means plaid, stripe, anything you want to wear with anything on it.
Anything else?
That's what this says.
Yeah, I know.
You can wear a striped shirt and plaid pants with a polo on it or a Tommy Hilfiger or anything on it. There is no restriction for anything. It's just got to be a polo shirt, a button-down shirt, and you can wear pants, slacks, jeans, capri shirts, shorts, dresses, or
No,
walking
that's courts.
shorts.
That's courts. That's correct.
Sports.
That's courts.
Sports.
Yes,
Sports.
courts.
Okay? That's what that says.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's the board's intent, but that's what it says. And I agree with Richard. This says as long as it's a polo shirt or a button-down shirt, you can wear anything you want with anything on it. Same way with the pants. That's what this says.
On the campuses, we'll have the student, what is it, student handbook, right, sir? Which we don't have to approve. Right.
You don't approve this, but we thought,
No, right.
y'all voted on it,
Right.
y'all asked us to do this.
This is what we
Yes,
voted on,
yes.
and this is what is policy.
Yeah.
This is policy, not to him.
I understand, but
Okay,
you're
so
saying
where are the restrictions?
on the campus, there is a student handbook.
Okay.
This is not a student handbook.
Right, but what's gonna be the appeal to the board? The appeal to the board is, again, we're right back to the same thing. Metzger does this, Kirby does this, this is the policy. Why does Metzger get to do one thing and Kirby get to do another? That's exactly what we're gonna get into this again.
This is student handbook, this is the
Yeah,
district student handbook.
yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
The changes were made according to the colors and stripes and other pieces of clothing as far as the shirts and Oxfords were concerned. The concern was the colors and the stripes. This is just a piece of the dress code. There are other components that give guidance to administrators as to what is acceptable and unacceptable. And if it does disrupt the campus, then the administrators have the right to determine what is acceptable and unacceptable on their campus. This is just a portion of what the change was that was brought to you and what you adopted in your meeting, I believe, either in April or May.
But, can I ask you a question? Under this policy right now, can a child walk in with Tommy Hilfiger polo shirt with
That's
the
correct.
emblem on it?
According to
With
what you
the
adopted,
in-law.
yes, sir.
There's nothing wrong. I mean, this is just a change.
I know, but here's my point. I know, I understand that, but any child can wear anything, stripe anything with it. And then what we're going to get is the grievance. We're going to get the grievance. How can they do it at Olympia and Purcell? How can they do it at Wagner and not do it at Judson? This allows an inconsistent policy, and that's where we're going to get in trouble. Okay, I'm done.
Miss Adair.
Dr. Mackey, what Mr. Salyer is saying, we still have each principal allowed to make their own individual dress code. They can make it more stringent. So if the principal doesn't like purple, she can say her kids can't wear purple shorts. Now I'm asking because Richard said purple. Can the principal do that? Not- But if that's the case, Mr. Salyer, you're right.
It creates inconsistency,
If
Jim.
if we're letting the principals change it, I mean, I think we should just say everybody do the same thing. Be done.
Here that we're going to have grievances left and right next year. And I'm going to look at my principals back there, and they're all going to shake their heads yes. Don't look, Dr. Mack.
All right, let me go to the next thing.
I'm going to disagree with you.
That's fine.
I'm on page 2.
Okay.
Accessing student records. Can you tell me why we
Well,
changed
ma'am,
it?
You need to tell us what page in the bottom.
I said 2.
52.
No, it's 2.
You've got
They
one
gave
of
us
these
a-
laying on your
52.
table.
No, they gave us a new one.
New one, you got
Use
one?
the new one on the table.
Yeah. But why are you saying 2 instead of 52? That's the page number. We go by the board.
This is the new
Board
one they
agenda.
gave us. This
They
is the
just
latest
gave us
one.
this tonight.
They just
No,
gave
I
us this
haven't.
one.
Yeah.
Oh, well, ours don't. You have a different one, you're special. Ours only says 2. Okay, so, accessing student records, I just want to know, why did we change the wording from counseling records to counseling meeting log? Are we saying the parents can no longer review whatever counseling records that the counselor has? Is that what we're saying?
Under the new House Bill rules with PGPs, counselors are required to hold meeting logs or account for meeting logs. So as we go through the 4-year plan, each year there will be a log that they will have to keep of the meetings that they've had with their individual students. And those are the records that they're referring to in the language of HB 5. It's just a change in the way it's reading. In 2 years, as you said, we'll go back to whatever the jargon is of the legislative session. So this is what's changed in HB 5.
If the parent desires to see whatever counseling records that the meeting log
Then they-
determine. Is that fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
The words are interchangeable, Ms. Adair.
Okay, that's cool. I'm going to page 3, and I noticed that the accommodations for military families, they became a little bit more stringent in that we're not excusing the absence if it's earlier than 60 days before deployment or no later than 30 days after their return. When my son went to Afghanistan, the yellow ribbon stuff didn't occur for like 4 months after they were actually back. They had to clean equipment, all that stuff. So are we going to be really strict about these? Because we added these days. Previously, we just said leave of deployment activities, but now we're saying specific days.
That's coming from language with our military compact as well.
They came up with that language?
Yes, ma'am. And
Okay.
they're trying to standardize that compact so that as we move across the 50 states with those deployments, that we are
Cool.
consistent in that language.
Okay.
It is also, that language is also seen not only on page 3, but in the
Yeah, I saw it the other places.
Okay.
That's cool. On page 5, where official attendance time taking, it would be nice if we told the time.
I can answer that. In our code of conduct, we're going to, we will allot that time as 9:30 for elementary and 10:30 for secondary. We
Excellent.
were just explaining what the policy was here, and the change will be noted.
And in the entrance of the attendance stuff that Mr. Boyers talks about a lot, are we going to have like some really good language in there to, because I don't remember what's in there altogether, but to encourage the parents to make their appointments
If you,
before or after?
it is in there already.
Talk about the money, like Mr. Flores was talking about?
If you look at, or if you'll give me an opportunity to move to that.
Okay.
If you look on page, it's on page 16. It's numbered 16 on my.
It's 16 on
No,
mine. Go ahead.
It's titled "Leaving Campus."
Leaving
Talks
campus.
about, please remember that student attendance is crucial to learning. We ask that appointments be scheduled outside of school hours as much as reasonably possible. Our language now, and with the guidance of TASB and specific rules with regard to safety, what the recommendation from the legislative session was to spell out what the requirement is for all of our campuses in order to leave and return with our students, and to be specific in requesting ahead of time to make that move as far as removing a student, and if there's an illness as well, for our nurses to make that contact be proactive in making that contact with regard to student illnesses. So attendance is a big deal across the state.
And the last thing, perhaps where you have that volunteer paragraph, and I lost that page. You know the one I'm talking about? Huh? Volunteers is on 23. 23. Did he give me the wrong page? He gave me the.
Yes, it's on visitors to school. Page 23.
Yes. Yeah, maybe you can find room and squish our board committees in there and how we need parents to serve. How about that, Mr. Salinas?
I think that would be great, ma'am.
All right.
So insert board committees.
Yes.
Under volunteers, yes. Student code of conduct. Well, the parents are there.
I will get with Dr. Mackey and we will insert some language with that.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Sellier.
I'm here.
Yeah, on the doctor's note after absence for illness, it reads upon
What page
return-
are you on, sir?
I'm sorry. I have page 56 in the thing, or page 6. I
Page
have
six.
page
Should be the
6.
same one.
Should be 6.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Got it?
Yes, sir.
Upon return to school, a student absent for more than 3 consecutive days because of personal illness must bring a statement provided by a doctor or health clinic. I would change that to licensed healthcare professional. because you eliminate PAs, nurse practitioners, physical therapists, things like that.
I will, we can add that language, but I will tell you, usually it comes from some clinic, some office group. It has a letterhead that lists all of the people that work in that office.
Not
That's
always.
usually- Not always?
Not always.
But we'll add it. We'll
Yeah,
certainly
that, I
add
mean,
it.
it's just because you got PAs,
Yes, sir. We'll accommodate it.
according to this, you would not accept my excuse.
Yes,
Because
sir.
I'm not a health clinic. I
Not a
work
problem.
in ER. Why would you put that where even doctors are mid-level providers? Mid-level providers will cover your nurse practitioners. and
We will
PAs,
do
or
it.
licensed professionals.
We'll make sure it's in there.
Mr. Flores.
Thank you. Really, my thoughts are on where you're saying that absences cost us money and everything, making them more aware of that. And Dr. Mackey, I know at the beginning of the year, we send out a lot of paper to the parents, and I've always wanted for us to put something on the bottom. It doesn't have to be printed up. It's on the label out there. It just says absences cost you money. Because that we've got to get that across to them. I know our absences, we do pretty good on the whole, 90-something%. Yeah. But if we can capture, we can raise that up at 1%, that'd be a lot of money. And that's why I just want to make them aware of that. Thank you. Well, we can put it, I want to put it everywhere. That goes to parents.
You finished?
Yeah.
Good idea. Not only that, but on every, when do we issue? 6 weeks now? 9 weeks? 6 weeks, right? On the report cards. That would be right there on the report card where it says attendance, how many days you've been absent. Maybe a little blurb under that. That's a great idea.
Well, I'm
No,
just
no,
saying,
wait a
if you
minute.
just have
No. It comes
Wait a minute.
automatically, sir.
No.
We do them.
No. Well, hey, we're good. We're fighting.
We're out of
charter
order,
schools now and
please.
everything, We're losing more money because of charter schools and everything. You think it's funny, but we're losing a lot of money. And hold on, one thing, Arnold. Dr. Mackey, when I'm saying put it on there, if you just printed up labels and just put it on there, I mean, it doesn't have to, we don't have to redo the form. On any forms that go to parents, the ones that you send to say, fill out the information on your kids and everything, just make a note that it costs us money.
We can work on it.
Under their signature.
We'll work on a slogan.
Okay, thank you. Policy update.
Mr.
Oh,
Macias,
I'm sorry, Mr. Macias. Oh, I'm
you've been
sorry,
waiting
sir.
patiently.
No, Mr. Gonzalez,
Yes, sir.
I just want to see the page 17 about the makeup work because of absence. Just a general question about how that's worked. I noticed that we eliminated some additional lines about missing school with anticipated absence, field trips, and all that. But the highlighted paragraph captures that deleted information, or do we change something in the handbook?
No, sir. If you'll give me a second, I can send you to extracurricular activities.
Okay.
That's highlighted. 1 second. I'll give you the page number as well.
It's page 11 on the document I have here, extracurricular clubs and organizations.
Yes, sir. That talks about. It says it's not in there. There is something that deals with if a student misses because of it, and let me look for it real quick, and I can address it for you. Because it is one of the it is one of the changes that they made. That if
Makeup work because of absence
yes, sir.
on page 17?
Yeah, that's what I'm referencing.
No, sir. But what it does is it also talks. It's the second bullet. A student involved in It's on page 17 below it. A student involved in an extracurricular activity must notify his or her teacher ahead of time about any absences. So once they do that, and coaches are real good about doing this, Mr. Macias, they put a list out of those activities that occurred throughout the season, or if there's an activity or a field trip, teachers put out those lists. of students that are going to be out. So and that's also, I believe, in our grading handbook about missing, and teachers get a copy of this grading handbook at the beginning of the year about missing work and how students are to make up that work if they're absent because of extracurricular activity or field trip.
Thank you. I just have one other question regarding lunches. I was under the impression that students have been able to leave for lunch at some point. Was I incorrect?
Yes, sir.
So it's been a closed campus?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. All right, well, that's all I had. Thank you.
Mr. LaFoyle.
Just a quick question.
Yes,
Will this come back to us before it's sent out? No?
This is not the book.
No, what we can do is get the booklet and we'll just put it back at the same.
Well, it's too late to change anything then, isn't it?
You want to change something, you need to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I want to change. No getting around that.
Oh, yes. I thought you were talking about this.
I say bring it back the way it was before we voted on it. I've talked to many principals about this, and they all are disheartened about that being changed that way. It was changed for one reason, everybody on the board knows why.
Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am.
About fifth and eighth grade promotion.
Moving on to the next grade.
It's on promotion retention. It's in here. It's on promotion retention. Let me.
But that's state law, ma'am.
If a student grade 5 and 8 is enrolled in course of earned hospital period,
It's on page 18. Page 18. If a student in grade 5 or 8 is enrolled in a course in
we have 2 additional options to take a failed assessment. We have to versus
it's at the bottom. Students will also have multiple opportunities to retake EOC assessments. It's also part of our SSI component.
Also mentioned somewhere else where they're kept up over attendance loss.
I'm not letting this go, Dr. Mack. You know that. I've fought this for years. I know it. And now one person changes it. Why don't we put it in there under dress code?
Richard, it was voted on.
Discretion of the
It's in there.
That's not, that's,
It's in there. It's in there.
It don't say that.
It's in there.
We put it in there.
What
Dress code is up to the discretion of the principal.
Dr. Mack, may I address that? In the code of conduct and student handbook, it does say that the principal has discretion to determine what is acceptable. It's not in there, sir. Those are changes. That is not the entire. Those were changes. That is not the entire code. Yes, sir. Were this states the entire language of what was changed. If you would like, at the end of this, I can show you what the entire code would say. with regard to that language.
Next meeting, I would like to have that put on the meeting date. I'm gonna say a lot of things that probably shouldn't.
I would not advise that, sir. I would not advise that, sir. B, B, policy update.
Thank you.
Sorry, I give you a hard time.
B, policy update 97 affecting local policies. First reading. Number 1, DBAA local employment requirements and restrictions, criminal history and credit reports. 2, DFAB probationary contracts termination at the end of year. Dr. Mackey. Ms. Howe.
Yes, sir. DBAA local will be to support the already in existence DBAA legal that was updated as part of Update 95 in May of 2012. This just basically indicates that the district is in accordance with attaining criminal history checks on our employees. And just to give you a little bit of background information, in September of 2012, we actually implemented a written procedure and flow chart for criminal history and background checks for our department. In 2011, we went through a DPS audit of our CHC processes and were found to be compliant in that as well. DFAB exhibit is basically to support DFAB legal that would communicate that it is mandatory that we have to notify a probationary employee when their termination with the when they have been terminated from employment in writing. The district has a very long time and consistent practice to not only notify after the fact, but as a professional courtesy, the superintendent issues letters before any action is presented to the board.
Okay. C, discuss options for swim facility business plan. Dr. Mackin, you will find that on page 86.
Page 86, you see that we have two different plans there, and we're looking forward to directions from the board and direction that the board would like to see us go with this.
Discussion. Board members, anybody? Oh, Mr. Lavoyle.
What's the cost of this? What is our cost on this?
It's on page 96, sir.
11,000 from one company and another company.
14.7.
$14,790.
That's, we're hiring two companies to do this?
We have a choice.
A choice between two of them. So the lease is gonna cost us $11,000.
Well, that's 11,000 without travel and without the fly-in. You have to pay the difference.
Actually, that particular firm, that does include everything. That's all inclusive. Yes, this is a service that they do, and they say that just really covers their expenses to help out nonprofits such as ourselves. So that is inclusive of that.
Yeah, inclusive of all travel and out-of-pocket expenses. Yes.
And what are we getting out of this?
A study.
A study.
Market analysis, the financial feasibility, planning procedures, program procedures, design, just information, just what it says on the 89.
Why? It's all for a swimming pool, right?
It's a study. Mr. Salyer.
Yes. Go ahead, Jose. Jose. What can we borrow money for right now?
All right, say that again.
What can we borrow money for right now? Ballpark figure. What percentage?
Oh, percentages? It depends on the term of the money and the amount of money you're talking about, but the term is definitely key. If it's short term, 2-3 years, you're looking at somewhere about 3%. If you get longer than that, you're getting up to 5-6%, depending if it's, a 20, 30, 40-year loan, depending on how long it is.
I know, okay, thank you, Dr. Mackey. I know we've talked to architects before. I know there's some plans out there for around $6 million. I mean, folks, fellow board members, before I would spend $11,000, $14,000 on a study, I would like for Mr. Kirshner and Dr. Mackey to call up our architects and say, what's out there already designed we can buy off the shelf? Where would we, if we had to do that, where would we put it, and what can we borrow money for? So I would like to just table this study until we get some information internally. That's discussion, okay. I'd like to, before we spend this money, I would like to see what we can do internally. And I mean, the answer might be, I think the answer right there, because even, yes, sir, Mr. Kirshner, go ahead.
I just want to point out that the reason for this study, part of it is the feasibility. So it just tells us really what we can expect to generate from something like this.
Okay, so it's an
What's the
accounting.
feasibility of it? It's going to tell us whether we should move forward or not. It will give us information so you can make a decision to say, you know what, this is worthwhile, and we're going to move forward with the next step of planning, which is finding out how much this costs, and he'll kind of give us a cost estimate too based on the region, this particular
So this is a
vendor, because
cost
that's what he does.
analysis.
He works strictly with swim facilities.
This is a cost analysis of feasibility
That's
study.
correct. That's correct.
And he'll say, yes, we can do it. Does it look at voter or just, the study doesn't look at voter?
This
just
is a
looks at
study
cost?
of feasibility of the area, what we have in the area, how would we compare with the stuff in the area, with the other swim facilities? Could we make money off of it? Maybe what will happen in the surrounding communities should we build something like this? What kind of action we could expect to get out of a swim facility of this nature? So it probably wouldn't give us as much as a payback, but he could kind of tell us, you can expect to do this if you do a swim facility in this place, in this area of town, in San Antonio.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Macias.
I just have a question for Dr. Mackey. This would obviously fall under the $50,000 where you can kind of authorize this processor service. What is your feelings in terms of the swimming pool?
I don't know. I'm just waiting to hear from the board.
So,
I don't have any way, one way or another.
And mind you, the reason I ask too is because we are, of course, managing a swimming facility now over at Coronado
Yes.
Elementary School that has that's been costly for us.
Yes, very much.
And so, in addition to this study, are we having sort of a cost analysis? Maybe Mr. Kirshner may have already done that. What it's costing us and what it could cost us 5 years from now in terms of trying to still maintain that swimming pool. At least that'll give us some sort of idea. I mean, if you could kind of just forecast that.
I called a district I called the district that built a pool 2 years ago. One of these Olympic-sized pools, and they built the pool. I did visit with the superintendent. It takes about 5 personnel to keep it clean and things of that sort. And he said it's very cost effective to build and to maintain a pool. That was just one district that I called and asked about that. That was the only districts I asked, because I was a part of the bond process in approving that pool, and it was built. And I asked them, how is it 5 years from now? What is it?
Do you have any numbers on that as far as
He said it's costing them about $200,000 a year. It's costing them. No.
was it a natatorium?
Yes, yes. It's a standalone natatorium with everything. Yes.
Have you looked at San Antonio?
No, no. I looked at Fort Worth ISD. Superintendent took me over at Fort Worth ISDs, and I looked at that one. I just looked at it and, just talked about it. With Phil Silly, that was it. I just wanted an idea of what it looks like.
They built it themselves, and we're going to
No, they built it themselves. They did a bond issue. They did it with their bond.
This feasibility study, let's say, this guy says 11,000. In the meantime, maybe Dr. Mackey can find out what other districts around here, or maybe not in San Antonio, outside of San Antonio, that have recently built pools that maybe I'm willing to go on my own expense to go study it or look at it or whatever. So we can start getting ideas, and then, if I remember correctly, we have a parcel of land by Ben's, is it Ben's Engleman? By Masters, I'm sorry, by Masters Elementary there. Don't we own a couple of acres there?
We own the acreage that Masters is on, but we don't have any additional land over there. We do have land over in Selma by kind of close to Retama. That was a school.
How many
site.
acres? How many acres?
I think it's 19, 20, almost 20 acres. Yeah. That's
So-
that was the one we set aside for the next elementary, and then we bought the
Right,
next
right.
bill just for owning those.
Well, the next elementary school is going to be at the Hartman place over there. So if we go ahead and do that, they spend the 11,000. In the meantime, I guess we have to make sure before they get here, because we're going to have to put it on a agenda item to vote for action, right? Or no, wait a minute, it's under 50. We don't have to do that, right, Dr. Mackey?
We're just looking for direction from y'all whether you want us to
Yes,
spend that money
okay,
to do this.
okay. And then in the meantime, start looking for some land. And if you can find some places, Houston, Katy, I don't care. I'll make it on my own expense to go visit and see, to talk to somebody over there and see what it takes.
Don't have to go that far. You've got north side and northeast.
But
facilities
sir,
that are
you
all
cannot
connected.
compare Northside because you're talking about 100,000 students. I'm sorry. They can maintain it with 100,000 students. We only have 22,000. So maybe a size, our size, a district our size. Whether it's Dallas, I don't care. I'm willing to go on my own expense. I don't have to charge it to my account. So if you do that, in the meantime, if the board is going to feel that we want that feasibility study, which I'm for, because I think it's time that we start really getting serious about this swimming pool. I think we owe it to our students that have been here for years and gone through this small pool. So maybe in the meantime, if you can do that, Dr. Mackey, let me know, and I'll take it on my own expense for that. Thank you. Gilbert.
Yeah, on that property that we have out there by Bertama, does that have the infrastructure already in?
It was originally designed to be an extension of that the housing development. So the infrastructure is right there. If it's not, I mean, their house is right before that.
To be able to,
So it's close enough. I mean, but it's
okay. So it won't cost us like that other property.
not like
on
Evans Rose.
Evans Road, no. Okay. All right. Thanks.
Well, that's part of what will come through with this feasibility study, as well as the swim committee group. They kind of gave us in the research they did. Hopefully, as far as land, partnering with Northeast Lakeview College, the acreage is there. I can't remember exactly what the acreage was, but there was enough there at Northeast Lakeview to satisfy the requirements of a facility of this sort.
So, does the board feel okay to direct Dr. Mackey to go ahead and look into that situation? No. I'm just saying how the board feels. Because Dr. Mackey needs some direction. Say, hey, yes. He can spend up to 50,000. But we won't let him spend over 11 anyway. So. But anyway, that's why. Okay? Okay?
Mr. Salinas.
Yes, sir.
This particular acquisition for these two vendors, did it go through our procurement process?
No.
Does it need to, or anytime we do something like this?
No, I started not knowing what I was doing. I didn't know who to ask and who to contact, so I started looking through some San Antonio stuff, and the San Antonio Chamber of Commerce kind of drilled in and got lucky with the second phone call I made. And then we also, if you remember, you might remember, but Mr. Valdez went to a deal in Dallas. It was a group that gave, hey, this is what we need, swim facilities, and this is how you do them. I asked Victor for that contact information. I contacted that guy. He goes, I know the person you need. This is what this guy does. And that's where he sent me to TSC consultant.
What we will do, we gather information so you can see this information. Then we will put out a proposal and go out and look for it after knowing what we have now. This is just preliminary information just to share with y'all, just putting information inside the binder. And then we will do qualification.
I see. Well, we're still spending 11 to 14,000.
Yeah, it's going to be that much, but I just want you to have an idea of what they're saying.
I understand that, but I just want to make sure too that I understand that anytime we put service out there, we put it under some sort of scrutiny. So, which means, have we looked at any other? I mean, if we've gone through the process, it passes the smell test.
Okay. We're going to go through the process. This is just information that y'all asked me to bring some type of information.
So you'll go to a competitive bid?
Yes. Once we get now, you all are directing me tonight, and that you all will like this, so we can go through the process.
Okay.
That's what I'm waiting to hear.
Good. That's all I want clarification on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. D, procurement reports and procedures. Mr. Macias.
That's perfect. Perfect timing because we're talking about procurement. I just wanted to ask my colleagues about our procurement process. I'm very proud of it. I think it's done a lot of good work. But there's a couple of recommendations I'd like to talk to you guys about. One being that when we receive our packet with a competitive bid, we'll get this data with number values, essentially indicating what the number one selection was, number two. I would actually like to have a narrative attached with that documentation. I know there's a lot of data the procurement does, but to have actually sort of a summary as to why one was selected over the other may help in understanding what that rationale was. So I would like to just the one that's selected. Why that one has been selected, just for us to review and to have a better understanding of it, rather than looking at the numbers and seeing that they're all scored fives or all whatever the deal might be. So if there is something that's a strong indicator as to why this vendor was selected over the other, I'd like to be better informed in that regard. And then I had a general question for you, Dr. Mackey. I noticed at the last meeting I did have some questions for Mr. Ashmore, and he wasn't available. I think he was on vacation or something. But can we have Mr. Ashmore here when we have procurement issues? I mean, on a regular basis. I don't know if he just happened to be here by chance or if he's always here.
Dr. Mackey, when there is an item that is on the agenda that is a purchasing item, Mr. Ashmore is always here.
Okay.
It just happened to be at that time. If you'd like to know, he was volunteering so he wasn't here. So.
Whatever his reasons, I'm sure they're valid. But I just want to make sure that I can look into the audience, and if I have a question regarding something that Mr. Ashmore is available.
So to get a clarification, if for some reason he has a commitment and he cannot be here, does that mean that you don't want that item on that month and we can postpone it for another month?
Well, I mean, if I have a question, I'll try to catch it before when Dr. Mackey gives a call. But sometimes when we're discussing an item, a question comes up that I didn't realize to ask. And so if we have our procurement person here, that would help. Thank you. Excuse me, any other feedback from the board about this narrative or anything? All right, well.
Okay, finished? Thank you. Improve teacher retention, review the strategy. Item E. Improve teacher retention, review the strategy of extending the duration of contracts 2 years. Mr. Macias.
Yes, obviously our teachers and our professionals are very valuable to us. Looking at trying to be innovative in this regard to retain our talent, and I've been, mulling around the idea with some of you as well about extending 2-year contracts to some of our professionals based on their evaluations, if they're in the higher evaluation area. But just want some feedback. That's why it's on the agenda for discussion to kind of see what your thoughts are. I'm thinking it's innovative. I think it'll reward our teachers and professionals that go all out to do their job. And it's not paying them anymore. They're still going to get the same salary, but at least it's offering a 2-year contract. And hopefully that also sends a message that we want to keep them in the district and, bottom line, help our retention, which we all can agree that's a problem. So just want to put that out there for discussion so that we can also direct Dr. Mackey to get us some figures if he doesn't already have that.
My question is, would they be held, I guess it's a power, it's a 3-year contract, are they held 3 years or
The property right would extend for the full 2 years.
Go ahead, sir.
I think it's a good gesture, but I don't think it's going to make people stick around. I mean, having or not having a 2-year contract is not going to determine retention. If someone's going to leave, they're going to leave because they want to leave, not because they got a 2-year contract. I mean, that's just, I think it's a nice gesture, but it really doesn't mean anything monetarily or anything. And if someone wants to go, they're going to go, not because they have or don't have a 2-year contract.
Well, and obviously
That's just how I feel.
if there's a promotional opportunity, I mean, they can also leave as well. So that always exists, and that's acceptable. But I think in this day and age, when we don't have a lot of additional resources to give our employees, a gesture is a good thing. So if we're able to provide that support and develop the criteria, and I think I've had some discussions with Dr. Mackey about it, developing a safe criteria to qualify these teachers so that we take a lot of the potential favoritism that might be encompassed in it. It has to be data-driven. Dr. Mackey's already alluded to a lot to being data-driven. So once we recognize those top-tier teachers, we keep them and extend a 2-year contract.
I want to say something about that.
Yes. Last year, the board took action to limit how long we can place a teacher, a high-performing teacher, on a waiver. So as of right now, a high-performing teacher must be evaluated every 2 years, which means that it would be in alignment with a 2-year contract. However, we are required to provide all of our educators an evaluation and observations throughout the year.
And I believe, Gilbert, and I think they have a field study going on right now. TEA is in the process of redoing the teacher evaluations. I don't know whether you've heard anything, Ms. Howard, but they are in that process. So we can't say evaluation at this time because we don't know what they're going to come out with in the near future.
So, Mr. Salinas, I just want to make sure that we have consensus to direct Dr. Mackey to provide some additional information about this to see how it would work. I mean, I'm seeing nods. So, Dr. Mackey, can I count on you to do that? Well, we need an established criteria on how we would identify these teachers as high-performing. Is it just based on the evaluation? We'd need to find out how many teachers would qualify in this pool. If it's too many teachers, obviously we may not be able to afford to do something like this because we're locking ourselves into 2 years. So we want to make sure that we're cognizant of that. So information like that would be, I think, productive and helpful. And then also a timeline of when we might want to institute this 2-year. If it's next academic year, if it's this year, those things would all be very helpful in trying to determine if this is going to work or not.
I'd like to know how the teachers feel about it if they wanted to. Like when they come back, you do your, when he does this thing with the teachers, I'd like to know.
What the feedback
teachers
is?
are gone, so I can't ask them the teachers right now. They'd like a 2-year contract.
Well, we got to give them an option. Man, okay. I wanted to actually create our first ad hoc committee. At the last meeting, we discussed the merits of forming committees based on any particular issue or, issue facing the district. In particular, there was a TASB report that was provided to this board several months ago, and we received a quick 15-minute presentation from TASB regarding that HR study. I'm very sensitive to the fact that I feel we're not as strong in HR retention as we would like to be, and I obviously would like to offer more support to HR in terms of providing some leadership in helping retain our employees. So what I'd like to do is have an ad hoc committee formed and ask two of my colleagues to join me in having a more in-depth analysis regarding that HR TASB report. Perhaps we can bring back to the board some additional suggestions on what we can do to improve retention in this district.
Mr. Macias, I think that would be fine if you're going to have the ad hoc committee, and then please provide this board within the next 7 days as to who you will have on your committee, whether it's one or two board members, and then, of course, that would include Dr. Mackey.
Certainly. Can I just ask my colleagues at the moment if anyone would be highly interested in joining me on this endeavor? It would just be a board committee, just a board ad hoc. Or his designee? Yeah, our designee, in case he's not available. So Mr. Sellier, and is there any other colleagues? That way it makes it a little easier. Mr. Flores, did I? All right. Certainly, that's just a start. And like I said, we're going into uncharted territory in some degree. We've not done this ad hoc committee thing before, but we'll get that started.
Ms. Perez, did you note that, please, that Mr. Macias would be and with the two board members and Dr. Mackey, and then they can set their own dates. 2013, item G, 2013 bond, construction timeline, and I believe they provided a timeline, Mr. Macias. And that was yours. Is that what you wanted, the timeline, right, sir?
This was
okay?
Absolutely.
And all the board received it.
Yeah, and just noting, we have the Copperfield Elementary School, the bids going out July 31st. Am I reading that correct? And so we're looking at having it complete by August 2014. Okay. And then the high school by August 2016. Okay. Well, this is perfect. This is all I needed. I appreciate it.
Any other comment? Okay. H, update on board training, conferences, events, and consider future agenda items requested by board members. Let's do the board training. Anybody board training? Mr. Macias.
Tomorrow, actually Friday and Saturday, I'll be at a Texas PTA conference trying to learn a little bit more about parental engagement and taking some best practices. I think it'll be a great opportunity to sit with other parents across the state to ask them what they're doing and how we can probably look at encouraging more parents to be engaged here in our district. So it'll be, I think, 2 really important days.
Anybody else? Mr. LaFoyle? No. Thank you. Miss Ader? You and I attended, and Mr. Flores attended the Bexar County Coalition. Oh, okay. Mr. Flores?
Well, June and Arnold and I attended the Bexar County Coalition meeting last week, and we've been getting more involved. Well, the coalition has been getting more active in regards to our addressing the charter schools. You know, the charters have made a big push in Texas, and they're making it here in Bexar County. And we are coming up with a campaign as a county. The Bexar County School Board Coalition is attended by all members of all the districts within the Bexar County area. So there's about 20 of them. and we've passed a resolution here for the board saying that we support this agenda, and it's just important because charters are taking away money from us. You know, private schools don't take away money because they still pay their taxes. But charters, they pay their taxes, they're taking ADA. So there's a big difference in that and between private schools and charter schools. And they're trying to come across like they're public, but when you ask them how many special needs students do you have, what kind of extracurricular do you have, and yeah, they have a lot of kids going to college, but they pick, they're cherry picking. You know, they have the choice of who they want to accept. Or we have to accept everybody, and I think we do a damn good job for what, we have to educate everybody. And charters are out there nipping at our heels. And Dr. Mackey's been involved with the superintendents, and we're trying to mesh that, the superintendent and school boards, and I think we're doing a great job. You'll start seeing a campaign coming out probably in September. Thank you. That's it.
Mr. Salyer.
Last Thursday, I participated in the KINS 5 town hall meeting on school violence. Side of my head was on there most. But, in the guns. And it was bad. Sheriff was there. A whole lot. We were all there. And this is going to be a contentious debate coming up. There are some very, very strong feelings on both sides of this issue of school marshals and training. My issue, just separate from if it should be done or not, a CHL does not qualify someone to be an active shooter, and I've said this before. The training, if this goes forward, is lacking. I mean, my suggestion was an 80-hour course, just like everybody else, in active shooter, and my point was, you have a teacher in a classroom, you have 22 moving students and an active shooter. You take a Bexar County deputy or a San Antonio police officer and you put them on a range, it's a controlled environment, and they hit about 80% of the target that's not moving. So the training is about 8 hours right now for this school marshal thing. I think a lot of people, even the pro, marshal, concealed weapon guys, agreed that the training was lacking if it happened. So it's going to, they had an hour-and-a-half town hall meeting, 30 minutes was live on TV, the rest was on the internet, 60 minutes on the internet. So I don't think we need them here at Judson, okay? But there's some folks going to press hard for it. So keep that in the back of your mind, what's coming. Thanks.
Okay, board members, I'm going to review the calendar. August the 6th, we've been invited by Representative Arias. He's going to hold a conference in Region 20, 6:30 to 8:30, and that's on a Tuesday. We have the upcoming state convention in Dallas, and that is going to be September 27, 28, and 29. And for the board members, it's required by law this year, it's every 2 years, so this is the year, we have to do the legal update on all the all the laws that were just completed in Austin. And I'm going to tell you that on Friday, September the 27th, they are going to be holding sessions for legal update for all board members. So if we are going to be there, make sure and register for one of those sessions that they're going to have there. Then we have, sir, they don't put the number until you arrive. They want to make sure that you don't get the number until you attend. Okay, we're required to get a number. If we go to the conference, at the very end, they give you the number, so you register that number, so make sure that you attended that conference. And you cannot ask somebody else, what was the number for the other session? Because then they catch you, because you cannot attend two sessions with the same hour. So they're pretty well controlled. That's what he was talking about. And we have I attended the SHAC committee at Judson High School last Friday. They are going to have their annual, what is it called, fair? Miss Adair, annual fair, August the 3rd. Annual health fair, August the 3rd. So board members, if you're available, come on over and join us. I will be there. I'm going to be volunteering this year for anything that they might have. They're going to have physicals for students that need a physical. They're going to have immunization plan, right, ma'am? At the Judson High School cafeteria, sir. Yeah. Again, sir, because we can't discuss that. I'm sorry. Okay, let's see, what else? You got your August, let's see, the board meeting will be special, oh, wait a minute. Oh, that's for the other one, yes. The shack, okay, board meeting on the 15th, and then we have a special meeting at 6:30, then we have a regular board meeting on the 7 o'clock. That's August. July, we need to come back to July because we're not finished in July. We have one next week. On the 23rd, we have a special meeting at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. for the, I'm sorry? 6:45 for? No, 6:30 and 6:30. Oh, we have two meetings, yes. But it's on the same subject. Yes. But by law, we have to open one and then do the other one. Also, we have a level 3 pending. We need to come up with a date, right? From King, Mrs. King. Level 3. So board, do you want to do it in, well, we can't do it in July unless you want to do it, you can't do it on the 23rd, you said, right? Okay. Oh, not the month of July. Their lawyer is out. So if you look in August, okay, September. Yes, because Dr. Mackey is on vacation. Not the whole month, just a few days. Let's see, September. How about? We have a board meeting on the 19th. Do you want to do it before the board meeting again? No. We're going to be finishing. But I think, right? He said there's only 2-3 minutes. I don't think we have to have one in September. Mr. Who? Oh, okay. So, on the 19th, we have, at that one, I think we have to do it 5 days. Yeah. Yeah, there's still time. Okay, so then let's go ahead, Jackie. September the 19th, 5:30, and get with our legal. There was another one, Jackie, that I had to tell him. I'm having a moment, senior moment. Oh, yes, thank you. Okay, August the 10th, it's a Saturday, board in service. We're going to have a board in service August the 10th, Saturday from 9 to 12. Are you going to Wisconsin? Are you like Mr. Dantes, gone fishing? What? You're not going to be here? It's a Saturday, August the 10th. There was something about it. Right, we can. When we said we couldn't do it, what was it? Hold on. August the 24th. Okay, how's August, sir? Since you're going finish on the 10th, I'm pretty sure you can go fishing on the 24th. August the 24th, Saturday, sir. Okay, August 24th. Nine to 12. I mean, doesn't mean that we're going to be here from 9 to 12, but at least start at 9. Oh, yeah, 8 is fine. 8 to 11. You don't want to be back? Well, how many vacations do you take? It's their turn now. That's yours? See, that's what I mean. Okay, so we can't do that, sir. Okay, cancel August. Let's go to September. No, you can't. Dr. Mackey won't be here. No, August. July 27th. Something is going on. Hold on, sir. July 27th. Am I on? Can't remember. How about the 27th? What? July. Oh, no, Dr. Mackey's on vacation. Oh. Never mind, sir. Yeah, you going fishing again? Okay, hold on, sir. Oh, that's right after holidays. That's before the holidays. Oh, okay. Are you back September 7th, sir? Okay, let's do a boarding service, Jackie. September 7th. You want at 9 o'clock? Okay. No. You need to take care of your quarterback, sir. Okay. So, September 7th, sir? Yes. Boarding service. No. Don't give me that. Yes. No, 9. So what time is it? 9 to 12? Yes, sir. Yep. Yes, sir. I'll be here at 5:30 with you. But, okay. Can we move on? I promised I would be out of here 8:30 and I'm already past overtime. Yes.
You know, we talked about that HR thing. How about the TASBO? You want to review that also?
No. What?
On this one? Can't we review it as a sub?
Oh, you want to do it with the committee?
With internal committee here, just to talk and see what, you know.
I'll tell you one thing. If you haven't read this, you better read it. It's very, very informative, and I like all the ideas that they have given the district.
Yeah, I'd like to look at them both and see it.
Oh, okay. So you all will be in charge of that? Okay.
Gilbert's in charge.
Oh, okay, sir. Oh, yes, he does. Okay. Let's go to item. Oh, we finished with all the.
Yep.
Action items.
Now we go. Yeah. Discussion, consideration of action items. A, consider and take possible action regarding approval of the employee summer work schedule beginning June the 10th, 2013, and ending August the 9th, 2013. Motion by Mr. Sander. Second by Mr. Flores. Discussion. Mrs. Adair.
Dr. Mackey, what does that mean?
Okay, what I've done, we talked about, and I visited with the board on April 18th about the summer work hours, and the reason, and it doesn't affect exempt employees, but employees, hourly employees, were working 38 hours to 39 hours, 36 to 40 hours, and they were all doing different. So we reflect back to being consistent with all hourly employees are working a complete 40 hours.
So, Dr. Mackey, I can appreciate that. And and I know I'm gonna get all the non-exempt employees upset with me, but who's gonna be supervising the employees? Are we just telling our hourly employees that they have to work and the rest of y'all not gonna work 40 hours?
Mr. Adair,
Except Ms. Ellis, I
the
know we
rest
always
of,
work 60 hours.
no, the rest of the employees work more than 40 hours, Mr.
So
Adair.
everybody will have at least 40 hours?
Yeah.
Cool.
No. But we changed it back Monday, so they're working the 40 hours Monday.
Oh, okay. Anybody else? Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. We need to amend that because that action reflects the 36 hours, which we want to, the prior 36 hours prior to the 15th of July. But now we're back to our regular schedule, so you're just approving what we did from the second week of June until the 15th of July.
So the motion you actually asked us to approve is for a retroactive?
Yes, yes.
Approving the 40-hour employees work 36
36 hours, yes. And, yes.
I don't have a problem with that if none of the employees got any comp time or took comp time, because we don't want to give you comp time and then we're going to turn around and give you those hours.
No, we can't do that.
Okay.
Yes.
I just wanted to make clear that the action would actually approve it as we originally presented it in April. So it will be from June 9th all the way until August 10th.
No, we want to reflect it to June 15th.
Okay, the item that was presented actually will take it all the way to August, so we'll have to amend the
We'll
item.
amend it to June 15th, July 15th.
Okay, and if we don't do that, then you're going to want money back from employees. Is that what it's saying?
No.
What happens if we don't do nothing?
No?
Did we break the law?
No?
Well, then what are we voting for?
Go ahead.
Well, to be quite honest, the superintendent was attempting to make a gesture to increase morale for the district. So we allowed all at-will employees to work a reduced schedule of 36 hours as opposed to the 40 hours. However, we did receive a written complaint from one of our employees concerned that we were attempting to withhold information from you all about that. The action itself is not illegal. The board can just approve it if you would like. However, the superintendent does have authority to reduce hours for morale. Now, the concern is that we were gifting of public funds. However, nobody was excluded from the schedule, correct? So all employees benefited from that, and in addition to that, the concern is that the information was withheld. The documented minutes from the April 18th, 2013 meeting will reflect that Dr. Mackey presented that information to you in detail. There was also a memo issued with that notice that he gave you as part of his superintendent's report. So tonight, really, it's just so that there is a formal acknowledgement that the board was aware that the district was allowed to work reduced hours to boost morale for summer employees.
And it's only for hourly employees. And the other thing about it, every district in the state of Texas is doing this. I visit Mesquite, I visit HEB, every district we visit, if you go back and look, they're doing it. And but since we have a complaint, this is the first time in 15 years I've ever seen a complaint about an hourly schedule. So because of the complaint, we'll go back and everybody works 40 hours.
But isn't this the first time that we've ever had them only on 36 hours?
No, this is the first time we've done 36 hours but we've been on a 4-day week. Yes, for 6 years. Yes. We've been working, and the reason I reduced it because I visited 4 schools last year and they had theirs reduced too. HEB, Mesquite, and 2 other schools. So just because of morale, we talked about that, just trying to improve on that.
So we say on A, consider and take part in the current approval of employee summer work. Is that what we're voting on right now? So somebody needs to make an amendment?
July 15th.
Okay, well, we're going to amend the action item to say ending August, up to July the 15th. Do I have a second? Second. Thank you. Did you get that, Jack? Okay, any other discussion? Yes, sir. Oh, Mr. Macias.
Yeah, now that you've amended the motion, though, I'm wondering if I can't speak to what I was originally going to state. So, okay, well, I can what? Yeah, only on the amendment. So, I'm going to withdraw until we're back to the motion because I have nothing to say about the amendment right now.
Oh, so we're going to vote on the amendment.
Yes, but I do have something
Okay.
to say on the motion.
We have an amendment, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed likewise. Amendment passes to the motion. Now, sir, go ahead.
Thank you. On the original motion, I just wanted to clarify. We're going back, so making sure we're not in any legal issues. I think I've heard you a couple of times say we're fine from a legal aspect. So, gift of public funds. I think you guys have mentioned that too. Hourly employees are back to their schedule. Exempt employees, I mean, I'm an exempt employee. I know that I work more than I need to at times. But at any point where exempt employees working 36 hours, and that's critical because we're paying our exempt employees more money than we are our hourly employees. So if there was a point when they were not working more than 40, just working at 36, we need to do something to rectify that to some degree.
You don't have to rectify it because it's salary.
I understand that. But
Mr. Macias, there's no requirements for minimum or maximum amount of hours for salaried employees. And so it really is based upon the person in the position. I can only speak for myself, but I have exceeded 40 hours all summer.
And I'm confident a lot of our exempt employees have. I just, because of this scenario, it left the door open for, so if we were to survey every employee and look at them, we probably could quantify that they've worked in excess of 40 hours. Okay. I'll accept that. The other thing is I do appreciate the morale boost for our employees, but I don't know if it was carefully studied. I don't know if it was one of those quick whims, oh, this is great for morale, because I do feel we have morale issues across the district with all of our employees. And I'd be really interested to see what type of morale incentives you guys may have for our teachers, our nurses, what's on the horizon?
Preemptive to this recommendation tonight to go back and ratify everything that's been done, we've had a horrible outcry of communication into my office this week of why did you all take that away? As effective last week, we notified the employees that starting on Monday, they would have to be back to a 40-hour work week, working the 10-hour days. Many people had already adjusted their child care situations. They were so disappointed to lose this nice privilege this summer. And, to have to work with the management, we were having to now get everybody to write in what time they were coming and what time they're leaving. It was a horrible kick in the gut for our employees. They were so thrilled to have it in the beginning, and because of one person's complaint, they lost that this summer, and it was really unfortunate.
Well, I can appreciate that, but that's not answering my question about what we're doing to improve the morale of our employees collectively.
Thank you, Rafi.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm only going based on what Dr. Mackey said about this was a morale booster, but I just don't know if it was.
That'd be a good subject for next week.
All right, I'll yield then on that part of it. Okay. I mean, if we've checked from legal, and I'm wondering, Dr. Mackey, if we need to have legal review some of our agenda items. I don't know if they would have caught that as a particular issue, or if they would have said no. All right, that's all I have.
Okay. Go ahead, ma'am.
Oh, that button. Sorry. Honestly, I've never been in support of the district office being closed on Fridays. The community always complains about that. Mr. Salinas and I went to Northside, and on Fridays, they're open until 12. but I've always been a minority person feeling that. I'm going to support this because, I don't want any gaps left where down the road someone wants to come back and take those hours because the employees didn't work them. But I have to agree with Mr. LaFoyle that we've always had 10-hour days. And so I thought we had 10-hour days. I didn't know we weren't. I hope everybody got the 35, not just the district office. I hope everybody that worked didn't have to work 10 hours, including our janitors. You said yes? Okay. So I'll support this amendment, but why did you decide to change the date right now to the 15th? I know, but that made you change the date. What about the employees that had already made arrangements for that time? So they're still going to have Monday through Thursday. They're just going to do 10 hours. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, likewise. Motion carries. B, consider and take possible action regarding approval of the personnel report and updates, including new hires, resignation, administrative appointments.
President,
Second.
I'd like to state a motion.
Okay, motion by Miss Adair.
I want to state the motion that I want to make them. Because I want to state it. I move that we accept, got to find my page of the agenda. I move that we accept, or that we approve the personnel report and updates, including new hires, resignations, and administrative appointments, along with the amendment for the attendance coordinator, district attendance coordinator position as submitted by the superintendent and HR.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion. Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of the motion signifying by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, likewise. Meeting adjourned.
Sir, do you want to introduce the special ed person?
No.